Hello everyone, just a quick update here from the Northwest Cover Crops Champion with Charlie Copley at Reaseheath Farm. Charlie's not with me right now, he's just in the next field doing some mowing. But whilst I was here taking our last few samples of the cover crop trials that are going on here, I just thought I'd give you a little update on where the different plots are. Here we have our 3 different plots. We're just at the stage ready for a destruction really, so we've been doing our final assessments of biomass cut downs, taking some additional soil analysis. Here is plot 1 as we look down the field. So we've got a bit of a mix going on here, including Phacelia, and it's really clear to see where those broadleaf plants are filling out the ground cover. And in contrast to the control strip we've got in the middle, what we've also observed is the underlying weed burden is much less where we have got this cover crop compared to here. Not only that, the soil moisture is also noticeably different. It's incredibly dry here in the control strip. The soil itself, as you can see, is very, very light. So it's very much benefited from the dry march that we've had here by our Northwest standards. And as we move along, we're getting into the 3rd plot, which is the alternate mix that's going on. So lots of rye in particular in this cover crop, so very little broadleaved plant action, high density canopy biomass going on. So it'll be interesting to see how the leaf tissue results come back from these. Here in our control strip you can just see the weed burden that's developed over winter and how incredibly dry this soil is. Yeah, it's just when we've been taking the soil samples out the ground, it's been very difficult to actually keep a core intact as it comes out because it's just blowing away. Here we are, right in the thick of the 3rd plot that we've got here with the rye. Really amazed to see how well this is established. Of course, these cover crops were following a maize crop, and traditionally getting cover crops in, you want to be as early as possible. With it being quite a wet and late maize harvest, it was really worrying whether we'd even get anything established, and I'm so pleased to see how it's gone. I really wasn't expecting it as to be at this stage, based on some of the other efforts of cover crops around the north of England this year, so really pleased with that. It looks fantastic. And then finally our first plot as we make our way back down. As you can see, a lot more broadleaf plants in this particular mix. It is patchy in a few areas, just due to the establishment conditions. As we say, this was established following a maize crop going direct into the stubble, so to say the conditions that it went in, it's developed absolutely fabulously. As I say, we're really pleased with this. So whilst we're in the field today, we're going to be taking a series of plant and soil tests. So we'll start by biomass cut downs in plot 1 and 3, where we've got the cover crops. And then in plots 1, 2 and 3, so including the control in the middle, we'll take a couple of soil tests. So we'll be looking at available nitrogen. So we'll be doing SA10 test on that. And then we'll also do a broad spectrum analysis on each of the soils as well, to also include active carbon. That way it keeps it in line with the initial tests that we did at the start of this process. Here are our samples from today, all ready to get labelled up properly to swiftly send off to the labs. You can see here just how much moisture is in the soil, taken from one of the plots where we do have the cover crops. It's really noticeable actually how dry it has been in the non-covered areas. So on this plot site, around the outside of where we've got our cover crop trials behind me here, we've actually got a perimeter of grass that has just been mown. The idea was to potentially destruct the cover crop using the mower, but we're thinking it will probably just end up getting sprayed off. This field will hopefully be going back into maize actually. Ideally we're going to be planting somewhere around the 20th of April. There's a few in the area that are already trying, from what I understand, but we think it's maybe a little bit too early here. But if conditions stay like this, it should prove great conditions, and where we've had the cover crops, because of the moisture that's should lend itself really well for getting that next maize crop established. So now that all of our field sampling is complete for today, it's time to get those samples to the labs and patiently await the results, where we can analyse them with the rest of the results that we've taken from this particular site, but also see how we compare against the other regions that have also been holding some cover crop trials for us this season. All of the sampling and testing on this site has been done with the help of the AHDB Planning Soil Management Pack. So in here it contains all of the guidelines for taking everything from the best assessment through to earthworm counts, and even how to record your own soil sampling yourself. So in each pack it contains the following items that you can use for your own efforts out in the field. The physical packs are available to order through the AHDB website, or you can download them as PDFs and just print them out at home. So what are you waiting for? So before I finish up, just a quick insight into what's going to happen with this field next when the maize crop is re-established, hopefully in a few weeks' time. The idea is going to be, once the maize crop is established to roughly the 6th leaf stage, there's going to be a drone that will be used to broadcast a grass crop into the growing maize crop. So the reason for that being, when it comes to harvesting the maize at the back end of the year, should there be suboptimal conditions, poor travelling conditions for the forage harvesters, by having that established mat of grass almost beneath the canopy, it should really help manage soil structure to avoid any unnecessary damage to the field through machinery wheelings. So it's going to be an interesting one to follow. We'll be keeping our eyes peeled and hopefully keep up to date with Charlie on how that goes a little later on in the season.